Thomas here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today I am going back to a skill that I learned a while back, which is scrimshawing, and I'm going to make a Viking horn for one of my friends. Now this build is being made before Christmas and released after so that I don't spoil the surprise of what she's getting. So today I am going to make a functional Viking drinking horn out of a horn. Let's get to building. This is a buffalo horn that I purchased on Amazon a few years ago in a set of 3. I did have to soak it in a solution and wash it a bunch of times to get rid of the musky smell that it came with. I have made another video like this one that goes into further detail on scrimshawing and gilding and other finishes that I will link in the description below if you're interested. For this design, I'm going to keep it simple, making it a little more usable. Knowing that this will primarily hang from a belt on a Ren Fair costume of my friends, I'm going to decorate just the tip of it and let the natural beauty of the horn shine through. I also know that it will have a leather holder around the top, so no need to really embellish that area either. I mark my pattern loosely on the horn with a silver Sharpie, then take a small rotary tool to carve it. To fine-tune the carving, I use a hand file and clean up the edges, trying to even up the depth. To make this a practical drinking horn and to limit the amount of residual buffalo that may be on the inside, I'm going to coat the inside of the horn with beeswax. This coating can also help prevent leakage through any of the natural cracks that the horn may have. Depending on what you drink from it, this wax can last for several years. Cold and non-carbonated drinks would give the coating an extended use, and hot drinks should be avoided as it's going to melt the wax. I heat up my wax on high over a single burner and pour it into the horn, swirling the hot liquid around to make sure it gets coverage all around. Then I pour it back into the kettle and repeat, trying to get as even a coverage as possible. Once satisfied with the layers, I set it aside to cool. If you notice the wax getting thin or bare after a few uses, just reapply the wax. This freshly coated and carved horn needs a holder for the wearer to adorn to their belt. I get out some tape and wrap it around the top of the horn, then draw a design that I think looks nice onto the tape with a Sharpie. To make it symmetrical, I only pattern off 1/2 and then flip the thing over as I trace it onto my material. Keep in mind that the leather wraps over a cylindrical shape of the horn, and it will be slightly smaller than your pattern due to the thickness of the leather. I think mine is about 2 to 4 millimeters thick, possibly. Once happy with with the shape of my design, I trace it onto the leather with an awl and then cut it out. Then I test how it fits around the horn, also keeping in mind as you lace it up that the leather will stretch just a little as you cinch it together. I had thought about adding these little flower details on the belt frog, but decided not to in the end. The long, even strip will be the part that the belt feeds through. It can be as long as you want it to, so that the horn hangs down as low as you want, but I think ideally it's nice to have it fit snug up against the waistline around a standard belt. In this clip, I'm using a skiving knife to skive the end of my strap. Now, if you wonder what the word skive means, skiving is a leatherworking process where you thin out the ends of a piece to reduce the bulk when you're sewing it together. By tapering off the end of both sides, I am essentially making it the thickness of one layer of leather where they sew together. I learned about skiving when I was making my Kurok leather backpack. If you've not seen that video, you should definitely go check it out after this one. It was my biggest leatherworking build to date. As I get more comfortable with leather, I'm really enjoying the durable qualities and strength that it allows in a piece. Now I could rivet this strap to the horn holder, but I don't want metal scraping against the horn over time. I feel like it's going to wear in some gouges. So instead, I'm going to hand stitch some wax thread to join the two parts together. I position the parts where I want them to lie. Then with the strap on the inside and the outside of the main body, I punch some holes. I pound my first set of holes with, I believe, a 6-prong stitching chisel. A quick thwack with the mallet leaves the holes that my wax thread will pass through using a saddle stitch. I leave the first chisel in to keep the parts in position, then switch to a 4-prong chisel to do the other 3 sides. Once hammer time is over, I sew the parts together, set the ends on fire, and push the burning string onto the leather for a permanent seal. I'm just going to lace the front up with some leather cordage. Initially, I thought I would add some metal reinforcements to the holes, but decided it wasn't necessary and probably wouldn't look very authentic. Once the holes are punched, I lace up the horns with a leather cordage and add some decorative beads to the end of it that match the jewelry my friend will be wearing on her costume. I hope this video simplified the process for you a little bit and takes away some of that anxiety you may have when diving into something you're unfamiliar with. I hope you give this a go and enjoy customizing it to fit your costume of choice. Like always, thank you for spending part of your day with me, and I look forward to showing you something even cooler next week. And we are finished. Obviously, I don't have the prop in-house because it has been gifted at Christmas, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's something pretty awesome and relatively simple that you could dip a toe into, adding some authenticness to your Ren Fair or cosplay costume because it is functional. So maybe you will try and make one of these yourselves and impress your friends with your ability to pull something from the real world historical cup thing, I don't know, and bring it into the real world using modern tools and easier finishes. Yeah. Maybe you'll get some.
Yay!
And inevitably, they're going to ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these. Tell them, much props. Time to make the next thing. See you next week. Peace out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube and you want to see more builds like this one, please consider joining these awesome people listed here with me over on my Patreon to build a bigger, better, more creative community together.